Yeah.
As you know, I'm back on my first date part
Yeah.
of my life, right?
Yeah.
There's a lot of first dates going on.
Yeah.
And one of my go-to first date questions is it's the deserted island question, right? If you could bring 5 albums with you on a deserted island for the rest of your life, what would those 5 albums be? And I know I'm putting you on the spot. I didn't tell you I was going
Yeah.
to do this before we hopped on. But if you, what do you have? Do you want me to go first while you think of yours?
Yeah, sure. Why don't you
All
go
right,
first? And
I'll go first.
I'll start furiously,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
going through my head. Yeah.
All right. So Usher Confessions is always one of mine.
Strong.
Wale, More About Nothing.
Nice.
Tupac, Me Against the World is always on there. So what I'm at 3. I got Usher, Tupac. Michael Jackson, Bad
Yeah.
is usually on there. And then the 5th one is always tough. But the 5th one probably ends up being New York State of Mind, Nas.
One of the absolute greatest hip hop albums ever made.
Those are probably the 5. There's always a couple other that can kind of float their way in there.
Yeah.
Like Idlewild, or not Idlewild, Stank On Ya is one that floats in there from time to time. There's a few others, and again, I know I'm putting you on the spot.
No, I love it.
Like I said, I'm on my first date. This is first date Jordan right now, and those are always one of Jordan's first date.
I'm
questions.
feeling like I'm at the table and the bread just got brought, and like now I'm like thinking, and I'm like, wow, this guy's so cool, so good. This is nice.
You would go on a second date with me, right?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, we've been best friends for 15 years now, so I think a second date's probably
warrants
warranted.
a second date.
Yeah, I think so. We'll see. We'll see how the evening. Nice. If you pick up the check, then probably. But
I like to go Dutch on date number 1.
There you go. On the first one, I think on the first date that's fair. But I'm old fashioned. I've been married a long time, bro.
Yeah.
My touch on the dating game is definitely not there.
Ladies, I'm joking about Dutch on first date.
Jordan Bell's a gentleman, and he will pay for your dinner. Make sure to go out with him and have your albums ready.
That's right.
I would say. And you can't because this is so off the cuff. You can't hold me to these. But I would say everything I'm going to say now is definitely in my top like 10 or 15. If I had a little more time, I might be able to parse down if it's like top 5 or not. But I would say off the top of my head, because I already said it, Channel Orange is up there. Channel Orange is in my top 5. Because it's so great, and I just connected with it so deeply when it came out. It's I just love that album so much, and Frank is such an awesome dude. So yeah, Channel Orange is up there. Definitely an Outkast album, like you said. I'd probably go with Aquemini, probably for my money.
You can't go wrong.
Nah, you really can't miss with any of them. Really heavily considered doing an Outkast song today for Song of the Week, but ended up going with a different song. But so I'll say Aquemini. I'll probably say, and this is just, this is not best albums of all time, but just favorite albums of all time.
Just the ones you like listening to all the way.
Yeah. I think not Reasonable Doubt. That's Jay-Z. Great album, but I would say Ready to Die, probably by Biggie, just because it's such an iconic album. In my opinion, the best rapper of all time doing it at just the peak of his power is so incredible. I'd probably go like, man, this is so hard. Like London Calling by The Clash, probably, which is very different than those first 3 that I mentioned, but hugely influential on me and music in general. Such an amazing group for the music they made. They were so innovative and ahead of their time, and politically active and just awesome people. So I'd say London Calling, and then for the 5th one, wow. How do I even nail it down? I probably need to include a Lupe album. I'd probably say
you have to.
Yeah, he's such a huge influence on my musical life that it'd feel wrong not to have a Lupe album on there. I might even put like Revenge of the Nerds too, which is like one of his mixtapes.
Okay.
But if we're gonna keep it to albums, then
I said no. I did More About Nothing. That's a mixtape.
Yeah, that's technically a mixtape, I guess. But I still would probably go Food and Liquor. Lupe's first, like, you know, real album.
Yeah.
Either that, I'd say it's either Food and Liquor or Good Kid, Mad City. Would take the 5 spot, because I think Lupe has had the biggest influence and impact on me as a younger person, and I think as I've gotten older and matured with music, Kenny is probably that artist for me who's like really just, I feel like I connect with and just love in like a deeper way. So yeah, those are the 5 or 6 I would say probably.